Back with Sam Chapman and his wife, Dr. Laura Berman. Their son, Sammy, was taken from them on February 7th from a drug overdose. This was not intentional. This was not a drug user. This was not a young man that lived in this world. He was not a drug addict. He was not a rebel. But right now, with the internet, you can order these drugs up the way you order up food to be delivered. But the problem is when you buy things that are not from an FDA-regulated pharmacy, you don't know what you're getting. I mean, you think, well, why would a drug dealer put something in drugs that would kill the user? Well, they put this in the drugs because it gets the user hooked faster, but they don't know how to regulate it. They're playing Russian roulette, and they played it with your son, and
it seems with thousands and thousands. I cannot tell you how many parents. We had to start like a Facebook support group because it was so many parents who the same thing has happened to their children, their kid just like ours, and delivered through social media. And you're absolutely right. The drug dealers want to make an addict out of you, and fentanyl is twice as addictive as heroin, but it takes like, a fingernail's worth to kill you.
This should be criminal because this is foreseeable.
Oh,
this is beyond gross negligence.
Oh, yeah.
This is wanton, reckless disregard for the health and well-being of the user, and this is homicide. This is criminal.
The homicide detectives are on it, and it's not considered an overdose. It is considered fentanyl poisoning. When it is not intentionally taken, it is poisoning and murder.
We want people to understand and to educate their kids. You're buying this stuff on the streets, you have no idea what you're getting.
No.
It is a crapshoot, and the stakes are your life.
That's right, over 30,000 deaths a year now from fentanyl poisoning.
Do you know how Sammy paid for this drug?
No, we don't know, and we weren't giving him money. It had been a long time since anyone had gone out of the house to buy anything, and so we hadn't given him any spending money for almost a year.
Are his friends coming forward and telling you any intel about this? Have they been using this menu? Are they, without incriminating themselves, but I mean, are they telling you anything that's helpful?
They're not telling us about their own behavior. They did give us they are helping, they're talking to the police have talked to them. They did give us the screenshot that our son sent them of this drug dealer. But the big thing that I think is so important, and kids, not just about protecting your kids from dying, but having the conversation with your kids, there's this no snitch policy. And if we had known that our son had any kind of drug in his room, he would still be alive right now. And they don't tell on each other. And I understand why, because it has real social consequences. But now his friends are going to have to, and I said that to his friend. I was like, I understand why you didn't snitch, but I want you to also understand that not snitching is something you're now going to have to live with because your friend is gone.
You got to understand, telling is not tattling. If somebody's putting their life in harm's way, man up and say something to somebody that's responsible. It doesn't just happen to somebody else. It doesn't just happen to other people's children. Because if it can happen to y'all's child, trust me, it can happen to anyone. When we come back, we're going to meet another family. We're going to add them to this conversation. They say almost the same thing happened to their teenage son. They drove all the way through the snow from Minnesota to be here with me, Dr. Berman, and Sam. And you'll find out how they are involved in all of this when we come back. Hey, if you related to that video, then click subscribe and ring the bell to get notifications of more just like that. You won't want to miss what I have coming up.